Hey there, sexy souls. Hope everybody's doing well. Alrighty. Go ahead and grab your cup of coffee. That was a little bit of coffee grind. Hey, how are you? Grab your cup, settle in. We're going to check and see if there's a message today. Yeah, I feel like wanting to just jump right in. Like I don't want to do like a whole big intro, but I need to do the just a reminder, we are weird and woo here. So it's kind of in the title. If that's not you, have a fabulous day. Also remember that I cannot read for 7 billion plus people on the planet. Therefore, do not Cinderella this shit to make it fit. Okie dokie. I am getting the wheels back going. I have been MIA out of commission because of COVID. So we're going to be gentle with me as I come back online. If I start to have a coughing fit, you'll hear me walk away from the camera, yada, 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 all that kind of stuff. So, all right. Man down. This one was crazy. And yeah, it was not fun. Not fun. But I'm back online. I keep hearing like I keep having something stuck in my throat, like underneath my it's just a weird feeling. So anyhow, okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna pull the Sacred Travelers Oracle first, and we're gonna shuffle, and then get started, guys, okay? Because I don't want to waste too much time talking. I want to save my voice to be able to get through this. Also, people are aware I have had to, for those that have booked readings, I am trying to, I'm not doing as many in a day because, again, like my voice needs to stick with it. And the last thing somebody wants is to listen to hacking in between every sentence, you know what I mean? So I can only do so much in one day, but I should be able to get caught up this weekend is what I'm hoping. All right, let's see what's up. Okay, that was here yesterday, and y'all saw me shuffle. This was one of the ones yesterday. Oh, good God. I told you all yesterday I picked up on something about travel and everything. I was like, oh my God, I thought we were done with that. Let's see here. So we're going to pull this into 2 and this into 2. Let's see. Am I still getting this good? Okay. Let's make sure that I am. Yeah. Okay, guys. So I'm feeling these 2, grounding and distant thunder. The whole idea of grounding is getting really solid into your own energy, feeling well rooted into yourself, being nice and balanced, so that you're in tune with all the energies, with yourself, that kind of thing. It's not being, it's like ensuring that you're not too hyphied up is the way that I would say it. You know, grounding is necessary for the discernment. And then I feel like the clearing the air is just getting things nice, clear, and cleansed. Get yourself really well rooted within yourself for what is about to happen. It's funny that this comes after this, but I think the reason they're saying that is because this is kind of like, it's like you're going to need to do this when this happens. Like this is going to be absolutely necessary. I feel like right now it's almost as if like I would flip these around and be like, go ahead and get grounded now. But you may not feel like, you know, I get the energy that you feel like it's like you are, you know what I mean? And like, there's no reason to get grounded kind of a thing. And like, you don't feel reason enough to, right? There's not anything fast paced or moving or energy being interjected where it's like it could pull you off kilter. So you're kind of like, why get grounded? I feel like the reason why they put in this verse is because this is going to bring a level of disruption. This is going to bring a level of movement, swift movement out of nowhere. And you're like, right now, you don't even have to put effort into being grounded or feeling calm within yourself, because there's not a lot going on challenging you. But this feels like, okay, some shit's about to happen, not in a bad way, just like out of nowhere, the dynamic of your environment around you changes. And so your need to actually put forth effort in maintaining a level of groundedness and like keeping the air clear around you, keeping your mental clarity is going to be important, right? And so that's what I'm feeling. Expand your horizons, vast vistas, and then get ready for new horizons. Like I'm telling you, they're like, FYI, in case you didn't know, this is what's, anticipate this kind of thing. And the fact that we're talking about faraway places, and then if we think vast vistas, like the vistas part is where I feel like they're one and the same. They're like, get ready because you're about to expand your horizons. And expansion in an area that's new for you. So let's just pull this up. We will get a little bit of information on both of these. And I'm going to be honest with you, there's a level of either travel or introduction to new environments that's with this, okay? Oh, we're going to pull another oracle. Okay. Here we go. Oh, Terry, I coughed up blood. Like I was coughing so bad that my throat got so irritated and things were getting caught in there. I had to do prednisone and things like that because I was so swollen. And I had alien shit coming out of me. Can I just tell you, I saw stuff I've never, and I was like, why is that so thick? It looked like a cyst. Like I was like, and I was like, this is not normal, even for an infection. And my throat was so bad, I was coughing up blood. So, like when I tell you, in my head and my jaw, like it was painful. Like I would have rather have had the chills and like when you hurt to the touch, if you have like the flu, you know what I mean? Like your body can hurt. I'd rather have that shit than the god awful headache pain that was in my head. I was like, oh my God. There was no sleeping. I had 3 hours one night, 1 hour another night. Like it got bad. So the recovery process was also me trying to catch up on sleep. And just last night was the first night I actually got real solid sleep from like, I was able to go to bed by 10:30 and not be up, it was, oh my word. So, but can I just say that I also felt like it was timely because I was going through a throat chakra opening. And sometimes, when we catch things in reality, because COVID is real, I'm not one of those that's like, it's not real. I mean, yes, it is. It's real. Good Lord, whether or not you agree with some of the stuff surrounding it, it's real. But it's one of those things where it was like, sometimes I find myself, I'll be more susceptible and catch things when like my body is ready to purge something energetically and spiritually. It will also like manifest in a physical way. And I'll find myself, like I said, like they didn't understand what I was coughing up. They were like, because I didn't have any mucus. The cough came first. So where this stuff came from, I don't know. It was only like 3 days later that I got sinus stuff. And I was like, okay. So it was really weird. I was like, I don't know why I'm coughing up aliens, but this does not look right. Like, so I'm like, okay. And I promise you, if it's almost, sometimes I think that I get sick to force myself to purge, right? Things out of my system. Because that is exactly what will happen. You get sick and it's like your body will start to, and all kinds of stuff will happen. And also, like, I don't know why I'm talking about this. This might be pertinent for somebody. Maybe somebody else is going through something other than COVID and they're like going through, but like you get to a point where you're not eating certain things. And so your body actually goes through a purge, which only makes the symptoms worse because just like any kind of cleanse, when you take certain things out of your diet and you only have broth and you only have, like, your body starts to go through a detox, which makes it worse. I'm just saying. Meaning the symptoms, the feeling of the symptoms. And so, like, maybe there was some level of benefit to it in other areas of my life, but it sucked. It sucked. And I did everything I could to make sure. I am like the parent that goes through and I disinfect like it's not even funny. So luckily my children did not catch it. But because that was not fun. Anyways, if I go on a tangent like that, there's usually a reason why. Oh, good Lord. A new relationship blossoms. It's funny because they were like, don't worry. I feel like this is a connection. This is like just making a connection with somebody, not necessarily love. So I was like, okay. I don't even know why I said, oh Lord. Like, I don't even know why I said that. Wait, what? Okay. And then in the sun, your perseverance is rewarded. Bright new prospects are on the horizon. And this book came out like this. You are destined to succeed. Now, I don't take reversals. But I'm wondering if this is this something that's like, no? They said no. Okay. Let's figure out where this is going, because this is like not where I anticipated things heading. We're pulling a bunch of oracles. We'll get to some tarot, I think, at some point. Is there a whole story here? It's about to unfold. I thought I was getting some kind of clarity on the two, and it seems like it's just like the story is not done yet. This is Fallen Angel Oracle that came out sideways. And these two. Okay, so let's take a look at this. We have celebration and enlightenment. Evaluation. If it comes out sideways, I feel like there's like you're not really certain on how you feel about something, or you're not really certain the outcome of something. Like, like you're trying to evaluate something, you're not really quite sure about it though. Celebration and enlightenment. This is a lot, guys. This is a lot. So I'm not really sure how we want to. So there's going to be a lot of. Okay, so this is all about getting into new environments, one way or the other, whether it's travel or like you're just going to be introduced to new energies, things that seem foreign to you, really far away places, something that's foreign to you. So that's the horizons are new, something that you're not familiar with. In that, you'll come across, I feel like this is the year of soul tribe, soul family, like the right aligned connections coming in. In that those new foreign environments that you're going to be introduced into, you're going to meet new individuals. Okay. And there's some level of your perseverance is going to be rewarded. So sticking with this and pushing through, or I feel like this is as a result of, like, what's about to happen is a result of you persevering. New prospects that you're destined to succeed at, but you're still not sure. You're still not sure about that. Like evidence of that has yet to be presented. I feel like there's going to be a rush of changes, a rush of newness coming into somebody's life. And during that process, you're going to be meeting a lot of individuals and having new opportunities. but you still feel like the jury is out as to whether or not these changes are going to be good, if it's going to move in a positive direction, how the outcome is going to be. And yet they're still saying there's reason to celebrate. All right, let's pull in. Like, I feel like it's so weird that the tarot is going to be the one to do the. I mean, it's not weird, but I feel like at some point we should have already had some tarot. So we're going to whip out some tarot right now. They're bringing me to the secret tarot. Okay, I don't even know where to start. So I'm going to treat all of this like it's different. We're just gonna. I keep hearing the verdict's out on this, but it doesn't feel like Spirit thinks the verdict's out. I think you think the verdict is out as you move through something. Okay, let's take a look. Give us clarity, Spirit. I've got birds outside my window just going to town. Chariot. Okay. I don't know, but I'm just going to tell you they've pulled out all the stops to try and let you know just how successful something's going to be. This is the notion and idea of a lot of movement where there wasn't any before. Things falling into alignment, and therefore there's nothing slowing or impeding a path down. And so there's a ton of forward movement. And it's going to feel like a stark contrast to before. So that may feel like rapid paced, but it's actually, it's just smooth is what it is. The path ahead is just smooth. And then of course, Chariot is being success. Like this is like, you're going to get exactly where you want to be. It's almost like it is so. Like feeling like it is so with the Chariot. And then you've got, again, you're destined to succeed, celebration. Yeah. So let's feel, good Lord. Two markers for this year. I don't know why, if we're just doing a 2024 read or some shit, but like I'm feeling like they're saying this year, the tone that's going to be highlighted is both forward movement, like movement where you've not had movement for a very long time is what I want to say. It's a stark contrast, but also connections coming in. Please tell us a little bit about the Knight of Cups. Okay. For the Knight of Cups, we have the Nine of Pentacles, freedom, liberation, independence of something. Same with the World. Both of those herald the exact same energy, freedom, independence. This is really solid ground, but it's also opportunities. So the Knight of Cups is an opportunity for a level of sense of freedom and liberation from something. You're able to walk away, Eight of Cups. I think you're leaving a lot of anxieties and fears that you have had. I think that 2023 and before, they said, was marked by a lot of anxiety and the feeling like you couldn't get away from something. This, I feel like, is more about you may have had a lot of apprehension in regards to some level of intuitive understanding that you've had. So let's say that there's something that you felt really compelled towards, or you felt very like your internal compass was guiding you towards something, but you felt very much so burdened from that. That's what's being lifted by the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups is an expansive opportunity to be freed from that. In what area? This is going to be either a spiritual path of yours, or they're giving me, it's funny, they're giving me any level of commitment. I don't know why I feel as if somehow commitment to something wasn't, like, being committed to anything might have been a problem for somebody. Feeling like being able to follow through and commit to anything, whether this is love, work, career, a passion, a desire, some intuitive, spiritual path. You feel like, you know what I mean? Like you weren't committed to something. Because we have here fear or protection. Nine of Wands. It's giving the energy of, had you received this, or maybe you did, some level of opportunity prior to do this, you held back from it. You may have been given the opportunity, a major opportunity, a very expansive one before, and either you couldn't recognize it, because we got the Eight of Cups and the Nine of Swords surrounding, because actually this is the order in which it came out, the High Priestess. You had a lot of fear around something, whether it was like a path you felt like you were meant to go down, and you may have been given opportunities to attempt it or to go down that, or they're just saying we couldn't bring this opportunity before because there was too much apprehension surrounding that. But with the Chariot, something's in alignment now. It's going to be smooth sailing. Some, like, the difficulties have been removed out of the path. Remember, I said it's going to be smooth. It's just going to, and it's just going to be this level of like, and if you were pursuing something and you felt like there was a lot of difficulties in your path in regards to that, whether it was love, career, you know, you felt you were uncommitted to it. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm going through the actions, but I'm like, we're going back to the idea of integrity. Words, actions, and energy all match. You may have been saying the words, I really want this. You may have been going through the actions, but your energy was not a fucking match to it. Your energy almost fought against this. And so there was a question of commitment. Like you would, this is the idea of the Temperance card, or like the Star card, where like one foot's in, like the toe is in, but part of you is still out of it. You're half in, half out. You weren't fully committed to something. I don't care if you like love, like I want love, but yet you questioned everything and you weren't completely open, and you weren't, there was just something there. Like you weren't really bought in. You had apprehensions about something you felt connected to, you felt was for you. And so I don't care what level of you may have had mistrust about it, because that's what the Nine of Wands is. I'm really cautious about this. Something you built a wall up to. So you could have been saying all kinds of shit, and you could have been going through the see, when I did this, nothing happened, you know, like, because you weren't really committed. You weren't really in alignment with it. You were internally fighting against it, finding reasons to not trust it. And this just feels as if you are moving beyond this guardedness on something. Like something finally, this is the idea of something finally coming into your reality, right? Because the Hierophant is all about what you know to be true, becoming now becoming a reality. It's like the etheric being real within your day to day. Okay. And the Three of Wands is all about your ships coming in. And this may have been something that you probably hot and cold with over some time. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Secretly knowing that you really desired it, you wanted to go towards it, but you kind of like, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Hence why all of this is going over top of the evaluation. Something you weren't certain. The proof isn't in the pudding kind of situation. Like, I don't really know if this is actually going to pan out. Like, that's the reason I get it now. You were half in, half out. You have been half in and half out about something. And that leaves no room for it to actually truly manifest in your life when you do that. When you're consistently saying something but casting doubt on it. When you will only do this much, when it requires this much, because you're worried. You're not so certain. You're not so sure. You are holding back. That's why that's like this. And so over here, I'm feeling like but you somehow kept persevering with this. You didn't utterly write it off. Okay. Let's talk about this really quick. Let's talk about this. Bring me to Starman Tarot. I'm going to put these two cards over here. Sorry, guys. I wish I could. I had an air purifier. Let me tell you. I thought I was dying. Yeah, I got put flat on my ass, let me tell you. Couldn't sleep, but tired as all get out. It was terrible. Something that you were half in, half out of. Okay, let's get back into that. Because your perseverance is, and we will get to a new relationship blossoms in just a minute. But I'm looking at your perseverance is rewarded. And therefore, because you didn't write something off, you kept moving forward. I feel like you somehow worked through this guardedness. Eight of Swords. Oh, shiza. Hold on just a second, guys. This one flew out, and then my hand let things go. Empress. I heard it was like the idea of you were concerned about the reality of something. You know, like Eight of Swords being kind of like, I'm holding myself back because of all the fears, all the thoughts, although I'm not really sure. My inner child feels like I need to protect that. And then it was like, I don't know if reality is going to be what I don't know why after the Empress came out, it's like, you know how like you can prepare to a certain degree when you're about to have a child, and then all of a sudden you have a child and you're like, reality is a little bit different than the idea of something. It's like there's some kind of sobering realizations that happened. This is just screaming to me having a level of discernment about something. It's like the pendulum swinging. Like you may have been over here where you felt like something was going to be so utterly, oh, I hate when I'm going to figure this out with this damn camera. But you were like over here in one extreme where you felt like something was completely like, oh, it's going to be fantastical and this is how it's going to happen and blah, blah, and shit did not pan out that way. So then your pendulum swung over here like it turned into the Nine of Swords and the Eight of Swords and nothing. It was all fake. It wasn't real. It's not going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And somehow you had to kind of like rest easy in between. Like it was the idea of not creating something unrealistic in regards to like a vision. You know, sometimes we can feel called to something and we think because we feel called to it that it's going to be like this, and this. And it's like when reality sobers you and you realize what that actually entails, and that it's not always, like it's like saying, I want to be a singer. And then thinking, was having all these pie in the sky ideals of how that's going to happen. Even if you tell yourself, no, 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 I know it's going to be hard, but, and then getting into the reality of it, going and moving through the reality of getting to the other side, the reality of the industry, the reality of the self growth that has to occur. What would it would require you to show up to that? The reality of working through disappointments and evolution in your craft. And like, it's like, oh my God, it's so easy to say, you know what, maybe not, maybe not. And so you're over here, right? Where the illusion is like, great. And then reality sets in and you're like, worst case scenario now over here. That's what it feels like to me. Because the King of Cups is really, I just feel like you had to go through a period of healing, a period of this idea of this gestation period of what it really means and what it's going to require in this level of preparation. And that's where your perseverance is going to be rewarded, right? Like it's just going to all come peachy keen, um and sometimes the path can be exceptionally smooth external to you. In the 3D world, it's a path internally, like the evolution that has to occur internally in order for this to come about, right? And sometimes we think, oh, this is going to be amazing. Especially when it's a spiritual path that you feel called to. You think, well, it's destined for me. It's part of my I feel really called, like this is part of my destiny. And you think, so therefore it shouldn't be so hard. And then you start your course, even like when it comes to healing, and it's like reality sets in, right? Of what is actually required to do this. And you start to question it. Because the Ace of Cups for me is, it was like, I feel like the Empress is all about, there was a period of time that like your cup needed to be filled back up. You needed to be completely in, right? The cup is you being in. That is what you have to give to something. You were only half giving because you didn't have a lot to give, it feels like. And it couldn't move forward until your cup was full. So you had to pull back. You had to go to the opposite direction and go, I'm going to have to pull back from this energy. But in that time, your cup filled up, and you're now, I just feel like you have, because of that, because you've experienced both sides of the coin, right? You have a level of discernment like the King of Cups, where he doesn't just hand his cup over to just anything. You became real discerning about what you would and wouldn't give to, and what you were and were not willing to do to accomplish something, and what you would and wouldn't do in order to to what extent you would give credence to the way in which you saw or viewed something, right? Like your paradigm, your lens. This was uncertainty. And I think that that was a bit of you going deep and exploring. It was the grounding something into reality. Is this really truly what I want now that the fantasy has worn off? And in that, you receive a lot of enlightenment. and you're approaching this now. The reason it can come into reality is you're approaching it with a level of discernment, of knowing what you're getting yourself into. This is like moving beyond the spiritual ego into the spiritual self. I feel like if this had come in before, they're just showing me certain individuals that enter into like celebrity status, that when they go into it from an egoic standpoint, a lot of their decisions are made from that standpoint. And sometimes when we first recognize our path, when we first recognize our what we desire, like our when we feel called to something, it is this pie in the sky because of the way that makes us feel. But sometimes there's a sobering experience that brings us into knowing that there are things we haven't considered, because making something beyond an idea into reality will bring in challenges that we never could have conceived. So there's been a time period of something sobering up to something. And now that you see it for what it really truly is, and that you can approach a soul call from the right standpoint, with the right lens, knowing what this would mean in actual reality, not just in the fantasy. Now it can become a reality. It would be a disservice for spirit to bring something in prior to you understanding that. They don't want your ego self saying yes, they wanted you. And I feel like that's where clearing the air is going to come into play, is because whatever is about to happen is going to clear away. It probably wasn't easy. Somebody has battled with this, and it took a lot to get to the point where things are finally in alignment. And maybe there's a part of you that's like, you know what, though? I still don't really know. Like, evaluating the situation, like, I actually don't know if this is going to be something that comes into reality. But I get and I know and I understand now what it requires. And that if I say yes to this, it's not going to happen in this pie in the sky way that I believed. I know really truly what's required. And because I know my boundaries, 9 of Wands, I'll know when, if it becomes too much. Let's talk about the this right here. What does this bring in? Almost. Hanged Man. New relationship blossoms. I'm going to put that as me. We're going to take the ones. All right, let's take a look at this. First, the Hanged Man. Again, there's that perspective change, right? Then we have the Sun that allows things to move forward and makes the path clear. Sun is also about enlightenment. So there's definitely been a change in your outlook and how you perceive something, which then impacts your approach to it. We've got the High Priestess. You have a better understanding of what it is that you've been feeling called to. Even if we're talking about like a divine counterpart. Like if you have felt like, I know that there's somebody that I'm really meant to meet, like you've gone through an evolution where you're like, oh, it's like moving beyond the stories that we hear on YouTube with all the readers and all the ways that they describe something, and this is how the path unfolds, and this is what you look. It's like moving beyond the fucking stories to understand the reality of it. Getting out of the ego that gets wrapped up into the stories and understanding the reality of it, and no longer allowing anybody else to control and dictate what that story looks like, what that path looks like for you. And something going beyond just the concept in your mind to now being a reality within yourself. That allows for something to finally come through. That allows, this is the Seven of Pentacles Chariot, to finally experience success in this. And I say success because the Chariot and the Six of Wands came out, both being success cards. I'm not certain. When I picked it up earlier, I heard relationship with the self, relationship with spirit. It's like no longer fooling yourself and no longer being, it's recognizing spirit within situations now. I have seen people want to give credit or blame spirit in circumstances and situations that it felt as though ego was finding that as a good reason. Until they have worked through something and they realize the true point of having a relationship with spirit, the true role of what spirit plays in any situation. I'm going to pull New Era elements. And then we're going to move back to this opportunity, the Knight of Cups, which the Knight of Cups could be finally an offer of love. But they have me sitting at this very Queen of Swords type of view, or very objectively, where I'm not feeling pigeonholed into any particular area just yet. I swear to you, I just said they have me in a very Queen of Swords energy, not pigeonholed into something. Like you're getting it now. You're getting it and you're understanding. If you feel like things weren't going the way that they should have, it was completely your approach. You now get it and understand it, and things can improve. We have the Six of Wands with the Strength card again. It's weird. They won't answer the question about relationship. Whatever you have gone through is giving you the strength and the wherewithal for this success. You see so clearly now. It's allowing, like, this is the idea, if it is in regards to a relationship, somebody having such false understanding of what a true, like what it meant to be in a divine counterpart. It wasn't this fantastical, ooh, it's going to happen like this, and this is the way the story is going to unfold. Your ego got so wrapped up into this idea, right? Even if it was like a career path or whatever you felt called to, like a spiritual gift, like you felt like it was going to be like, ooh, I'm going to do this, and it's like da-da-da. And it's like, it's why I laugh sometimes at people. I'm the chosen one. You're a chosen one. And it's like you can tell when someone is really worked through the way they present this whole chosen one situation. It's like, only the strong survive to come out the other side and help usher in a new era in this world of ours. It's not so much no one was chosen. Like this isn't a task that people oh, you're such an amazing person, you're the one that was like, no. Anybody who's in this type of a role has a sobering understanding that you weren't fucking chosen. You have to volunteer for this, and you have to make the conscious decision to move through all of this to get to a point where you are willing to be the example. You're willing to understand firsthand what it requires to do the healing process, to move beyond the paradigms of society and what has been taught, to see things accurately. You're moving beyond those beautiful stories of conspiracy theories of, ooh, this is happening, like, and you get so wrapped up into that. And it's like pulling yourself out of that and seeing things more objectively. You're out of the stories and what that requires. And to give it some label of like, oh, you don't have a choice in a situation. It all hinges down to choice. Your fucking choice as to whether you have chosen to move through something, whether you were willing to endure your own shit, not shit from other people, but the shit that it was you. Only you can choose to heal. Only you can move beyond that. Only you can integrate the ego. Only you can, you know what I'm saying? Like this idea of like somehow you've been given some hierarchy of entitlement or title that you're chosen. Like you can tell. You can fucking tell. Just in the words that people utilize to describe their path. Whether they've actually moved through some shit or not. Whether they are the example you fucking want for yourself or not. Whether that story is actually yours. And that is only the reason why you are now on the other side of something. You see it for what the fuck it is. Not because of some story that your ego felt like, yes, that's the one. But because you see it for what it really is. Yep, you've moved beyond the illusion. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. Okay. I'm going to pull Azathoth Tarot because there's still two energies here. The idea of being pulled into new environments now. And the idea of new people coming into your life. I just heard why here, why now. And this whole backstory is the reason. And I think that there's been a period of time or it's funny because I would still personally say I would be the one to be like, hey, you need to go ahead and ground and clear the air because you're finally on the other side of this. And when we're talking about full energy, what we had to experience and go through to get to this discernment, clear it out. Clear it out. It's as if it's something that you are capable of letting go of now. The Eight of Cups, in order to follow through with what you feel guided to. And it's like the stories are let go of now. So now your true inner self, your higher self, your intuition can actually lead and guide, right? You can now settle in and clear the air. But they still want this after this, because it's almost as if when this starts to happen, when new environments and the new places and the expansion begins and things pick up, you know, you're already going to know what you need to do. You're going to need to keep your mind clear of all the stories so that you can receive the intuition and guidance. So you know exactly how to maneuver. You know how detrimental the stories can be to your fucking path. You know that your fucking ego loves to sink its teeth into those things. They just said false sense of self-importance. You know you have to move beyond that. That's where the grounding comes in. And so it's as if once things start happening and expanding and new opportunities arise and it puts you in different environments, your ego is going to want to come through and go, oh, this is why this is happening. And it's going to try to apply stories where it doesn't fucking apply. And you know what you got to fucking do to get out of that. That's what this whole little last year and a half, I don't know why it's a year and a half, process was. That's why this couldn't happen before that. Because your ego would your ego would win for a period of time. Stories, all kinds of stories. Five of Wands. Temperance. Yeek. 10 of Wands. And the Star. I feel like this is just saying what I said. 5 of Wands is the conflicting beliefs, the struggle to get through that, the competing desires. It was the training exercise for what needs to come in. That's what it was. How to maintain this sense of self, true, authentic self, despite all of that. When things can feel burdensome, when they can feel like, where are you in all of that? You know what I'm saying? It's you're going to need to know how to find yourself in the midst of all of that. And the only person that can do that is you. This struggle, there was a lot of struggle and strife. And it felt very oppressive this last year and a half, but you needed to know how to do that, to get back to the self, to the truth of a situation, to your own discernment amidst all the stories. You needed to know how to heal that so that you could know how to move forward, right? That's the truth. And that here we are, right? The idea of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It is being of both worlds. You would get too caught up into the etheric and the way that something sounded, and like you didn't know how to ground it into reality because you were bought into some kind of story. And that bogged you down. You know how not to do that now. Tell me about the faraway places. Faraway places. Ooh, Lovers. I feel like there's going to be choice. See, when you have a lot of choice show up, If you're bought into the stories, you may get back into that Seven of Cups, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know energy again. It makes it difficult. Sometimes too much choice can become burdensome in and of itself because we can't see the truth of a situation. When you know how to get back to your true authentic self, your truth, you, amidst all of that, it's easier. The discernment is more on point to know what is and isn't for you. It automatically takes certain options off the table because you see through the fucking story. You're going to have a plethora of choices, and you're going to have a choice of travel. I don't know why they're like the world card come out several times. That is about travel. That is expansion. Eight of Pentacles, Six of Swords. Your work is going to take you places. I feel as if, I also want to say, there feels like in this expansion, in this opportunity for travel, you may find love. And again, I want to say it gives the air that this has been an opportunity before, but you were too wrapped up in stories and you couldn't see it in front of you. You didn't have the discernment that you needed to make the right choice. You are making choices out of a story. Six of Swords this is travel. World is travel. There's a lot of travel cards that are coming up. I want to say that if you feel like you've been put in place and you've been stuck, you were stuck for a reason, because the opportunity, when you had the time and opportunity to get away and out of something, you were bought into some kind of a story and it was leading you astray, and you had to be put on timeout again. You had to I just feel like you had to get to understand both sides of something. You had to be sobered up a little bit. And now you're being given the opportunity either to travel, to expand, to have love again, to whatever it is. Like this is like a second go around. But I'm going to be honest with you, the first time around, ego was way too involved. Ego's version of, and this is what I call the spiritual ego, something that you felt very spiritually connected to, but ego made its way into it and had a story surrounding it. And it colored and affected the way in which you maneuvered something. You're getting the opportunity to go to this again because you won't let those stories interfere this time. You have a sobering understanding of what's required in this. And so that's the only reason this is showing back up again. Yeah. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm just going to leave it at that. Apply it where it fits is what I want to say. Because if you're who I'm reading for, you have the discernment to do such. You won't, and I don't want to add to, I'm not going to play into, trying to make this fit some kind of a story. You know if this is for you. Alrighty, that was a big message, full on hour. I hope everybody, whoever it's meant for, it reaches. And I hope everybody has a fantastic and wonderful day. And I will see you later this week.